to see it. And Hiprain just replied to me saying, "Wait, why do they do this when I'm not casting? What the hell?" Oh, honestly, poor Hip.
Shout out Hiprain.
It would be like if they picked Taka when I wasn't casting. That's kind of how it would feel. But we are jumping into this game right away, ladies and gentlemen, and KLA are very close to 5-2-1, and we might see a very early scrap come out from these teams, but nothing just yet. How do you think this Valda's going to do, Seb?
Well, if you took a look earlier at the spawns, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, we saw GG was pretty isolated over at the top of that map area. So they are going to be kind of hidden away. They're going to be able to scale up a decent amount before they're going to end up engaging into a fight. So hopefully the fact of them being scaled up is going to give them a bit of an advantage going into these fights. They're not going to get caught with some unlucky RNG going into the early game, and it could bode very well for them. But that being said, it's definitely going to be very situational, depending on where they go. Taking a look now, we are going to see KLA getting blitzed down by WBG, and EWG as well coming into this fight for the third party is going to take Cuckoo 2 out from KLA. CXZ being on the back foot now. Sleepwalker trying to make something happen. Very low HP. Doesn't want to run into EWG. EWG going to be able to snake the other kill away from WBG, who initiated this fight. And it looks like EWG going to come away with those kills. Very unfortunate for WBG. They had those kills in the palm of their hand. KLA is going to end up having to go take the reset, try and respawn somewhere else, and rescale up as we're flipping over. XCG versus JL. TXJ is going to be fighting against NiHQ here. The 1-2 into the jumping LMB. Ult getting popped from VVV is going to send that Furn out to avoid the parry punish damage. And the 1-2 to take out NiHQ. Going to start focusing back onto the rest of these players. And it looks like Kakashi, the last remaining player alive, still 2 Furns available, is going to use one of them into the 1.0, wiping out XCG. As we are starting this game off very fast-paced compared to these other games. You know, it is going to hopefully, or most likely, cool down a little bit after these first initial fights, but EWG off to a tear already. 2 kills onto the board, aggressing heavily onto 5-2-1. 5-2-1 not wanting to fight this out too quickly here, sending some range shots, a few warning shots off at EWG's 9, and Pampy is going to end up backing off. Unique. Gray armor, not able to pot up. Looks like not enough resources here as Yin is going to get focused on by 9-9, taking a huge charged RMB to the face there as the Tesla Stun is going to come out hitting every single one of these players. They are going to be able to get that Karumi circle off. All 3 of them stunned. The 2.0 coming out. Unique is going to go down in that Yushan ult here. They're going to try and go for these spear overholds. Gets another Tesla charm off. There are 2 players left. The 3v2 situation coming through as Pampy's going to try and get this double grab off. Only goes for that single slam into the follow-up with the Dragon Sword into the re-grab. We are going to see that Wu Chen poured out, giving them the chance to revive Unique, and Pampy is going to just try and hold in this monk form to be able to secure the revive for his team.
Indeed. 5-1. Caught out in the open, though. This is not where you want to be as a Tianhai in Ultimate. You are going to get cooked as soon as you come out of that Ultimate if you haven't been cooked already whilst monked up. And look at it. He's just in the blender. Pampy desperately trying to do anything he can, but it's just absolutely cooked. Chefed up by EWG. And just showing why the Attack on Titan composition is so strong. Their namesake isn't for nothing. It's not for nothing. Attack on Titan does kill the Titans, ladies and gentlemen. But you know what I want to see? GG. I want to see how well they can do with this composition. They haven't been fighting just yet. They haven't picked up a kill just yet. LXM on the F3-V2. Definitely the ability choices that I would go for if I was going to play Valda in trios. You know, F1, not a combo breaker, very hard to actually make use of. And then now that you know, like V2 is kind of just the play. You know, it allows you to have so much freedom to move around. It gives you that huge shield. It's really strong in endgame where you can move around. You can you can get that huge health bar, that huge shield. Whereas you know, if you had that V1 or the V3, for example, if you hit the wave, with the V1, or if you're in the V3, great, you know. But if the zone starts moving and you had to use the ultimate where the zone isn't going to be in an end game, then you're stuck in the zone, you're stuck taking damage. Whereas with V2, you could pop it, you can move around, you can stand there and hold that spear and just charge it and have that golden focus for the duration, meaning that you can iframe or armor through a whole bunch of stuff, and you don't have to worry about getting CC'd and things like that. And it's a very strong ability in a lot of ways, but we just haven't seen it played, as it's just not really been worth taking over some of these character picks, you know. But now that we are finally seeing it, I am definitely hyped to see how well it can do. I've always thought that Valda had a place in trios. I've always thought that she had some spot, some composition that could work for her. And I can definitely see Feria and Yueshan being that kind of composition. However, I do have to say that they are going to struggle in certain matchups at times. You know, like, one of the things with Yotohime in the Cannonball composition is that she supplies so much damage that allows you to burst down Transformers and the like. You know, it allows you to burst down cicadas when they have their ultimate up. You know, the Furin Blast isn't going to knock back a Yoto using her ultimate on you. It's a really good way of dealing with these Sand Siphon compositions. But Valda, you know, you're going to be able to lock him down. You're going to be able to hit him with the spear if he doesn't avoid it, of course. If he doesn't tap dodge it, it is iframeable, so it is avoidable. However, if you're able to hit that, you might be able to do some follow-up damage if you're able to flank him, and if he's not able to catch all the people trying to hit him with the Furin Blast. But you're going to be able to knock everyone away, so you might not be able to actually capitalize on that water spear. So we're going to see it. We're going to have to wait and see if it can actually be utilized well. But we're going to be seeing GG doing a little bit of shopping here. They're very close to Bowder, but Bowder's heading up to the north, and they're about to run into 5-1. 5-1 having just rezzed, not having all that much loot to their name, unfortunately. Might be in a bit of trouble here.
With every single comp, no matter what it is, you're going to have pros and cons to switching out different heroes. For an example that we see a lot of is the Sand Siphon comp, switching between Kurumi and Z-Ping. You have different advantages of playing Kurumi, as you have pros and cons for both of these different comps. It's the same switching out Valda with Yoto, is you're going to lose that damage, but you're gaining so much more control. So you have to figure out as a team what you're best at and which heroes are able to pick up the slack in areas that you're not as good at. Saying, for example, GG is really good at dealing a lot of damage already, so giving them that extra bit of control could be that edge that they need to push themselves over the top fighting in these mirror matchups against a Yotohime. Whereas if you're a team that is better at locking down opponents, you're going to want that extra damage as opposed to having the extra control. There's also a lot of, hero point elements that has to do with it, especially with the new finals going all the way up to game 8. Players are going to be wanting to switch out some of these heroes so that they don't get into these situations where they're out of hero points and now they have no comp that they've practiced or no comp that they're good at left with the remaining hero points that they do have. Going into this Realm of Yang, we are going to be seeing GG going up against JL.
Indeed we are. And LXM, we've got the Spectator exactly where we want him. And he's looking at this Valda's perspective. The Valda ult is going to get popped here. He's not using a spear just yet. He does manage to find the catch onto One Feng, getting a huge amount of damage, and he's just obliterated. Not able to disengage, not able to use that ultimate, unfortunately. And LXM showing us that Valda can be made to work, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, though, he's going to be able to throw out that second spear, but the ultimate is going to expire. The duration on Valda's ultimate is not that long. So you got to use it or lose him. And unfortunately, he did lose a couple of those spears. But it looks as though their team is already in the winning spot, in the winning position. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Valda Qui's first win First game in NBPL ever, I think. I think we might have seen it at some point. We've seen one before? Okay.
Before the V2
first game in a long time, immediately gets a Realm of Yang win. What a day to be alive. What a day to be a Naraka enjoyer, ladies and gentlemen. We got Alex on the Valda coming in and getting that Realm of Yang dub.
I think it was
V2.
The first or second season of NBPL that we ever had. It was me and Rune casting, and there was a Valda V3. I
think I remember that actually. Now that you mention it,
it was an Eventide temple. I remember it clear as day. I don't know why. I just remember the ult into Eventide temple. V3 ults up and is able to stun it could have been V1 actually, but they were holding so many people in the storm with that ultimate, and they ended up getting a whole bunch of kills just by keeping these players in the zone while caught up inside the ult. It was absolutely amazing. They didn't really place too high, and they didn't do too well, but it was definitely a cool thing to see as we are flipping back over into the gameplay here, ladies and gentlemen. Alliance fighting against EWG. It looks like EWG might have lost a Realm of Yang here, so they're going to be trying to aggress pretty quickly as 5-2-1 coming into the mix. Lane is going to end up getting hit with that Tessa. EWG's 9 now is going to go out pretty quickly here. 5-2-1 is going to be the team to pick up the kill as Alliance now onto the back foot. Do not want to engage too quickly here. If you don't have a reason to fight in this mid game, if you're not on Yang depletion or if you don't have a buff, it's not the most ideal thing to take a fight here, as we are actually going to be flipping over GG versus OUG here. LXM going to try and send one of those spears out, is not going to be able to connect, tries to connect onto you here. Not very much value coming out from that Valda ult, forced to end up running away here, getting caught out by OUG's SS and you at the same time. CJS trying to make a peel happen, but TE coming in, and it looks like all three Vermilion teams fighting it out together as a huge parry's going to come out from, I believe, LXM. CJS is going to go down. TE's Han trying to make something happen with that ultimate from the Zai, and is going to end up connecting onto SS, picking up the kill here. The Feria knocking back so many of these players, preventing damage from that ultimate. Han trying to get some value out of the Zai ult, even just a little bit more. Sends an F out as well, fighting into the storm, sending some damage onto LXM in that mech. Able to break the mech down, and TE coming in and cleaning up almost all of these kills now. You, the last remaining player alive from either GG or OUG, and it looks like it is going to be this 3v1 situation that you is going to have to try and fight out here. Using that F2 to just keep alive as much as possible. The F3 coming in, knocking him outside. Not able to pick up off of that stagger, and the 1.0 from the Katana going to be the decider in that fight. Kayle's Cuckoo 2 is going to end up ulting up into that Akos ultimate, but Sleepwalker getting dangerously low. Unique coming out of nowhere, picking up that third-party kill, and now Cuckoo 2 running away as fast as possible in that Akos ult, trying not to get focused on by G in the Yushan ult. Very difficult to be running away here, and they're actually going to flip it around, and Cuckoo 2 picking up the kill onto by G, but very low and in the storm is going to go out to 5-2-1's Pampy. It's absolute chaos in this mid game, and WBG, the first team to be fully eliminated in game number 3, ladies and gentlemen.
Indeed they are. And 5-2-1 coming away now with 6 eliminations. And I also wanted to just say, TE coming in with that third party at that perfect time was absolutely massive for them. They're sitting on 8 kills now. We've head on over to the other Realm of Yang depletion, the Yang depletion team. VVV, unfortunately, with 8 seconds left on that Yang depletion, is going to be eliminated. But we're back to the storm, ladies and gentlemen. What are all these zone fights? Actually, like, what's going on? 5-2-1 is fighting it out against Alliance in the zone here. Pampy in that Monk ultimate, unfortunately, losing a Unique. Not being able to use his ultimate does get taken down. Now Pampy in a pretty bad spot in a 1 versus 3 situation here. The parry's going to come through, and Pampy is just going to get absolutely slammed into the ground there. And Alliance just having that huge health advantage. Unfortunately for 5-2-1, they're not able to survive long enough. However, Alliance do have quite a ways to go. There's a long way for them to get into the zone, and they are fully stacked on that anti-heal debuff from the zone. It might be very close here. I think they're going to get eliminated. I think they're going to die to the zone. Bo desperately trying to claw his way into the zone, but he is going to get taken down. And now Lane is also going to die. And all 3 members of Alliance are going to die to the zone damage. You hate to see it, ladies and gentlemen. But it is what it is. But anyway, enough of that. We're back to Valda Gaming in the realm of Yang. LXM, GG going up against OUG. LXM doing work with these dual halberds. Both of these Uations now having used their ultimates. OUG, SS, and GG CJS trying to make something happen. Yu takes to the skies after having used his F3. The Farrier ult has been utilized by 330 and the King. Both teams rotating through their cooldowns very, very similarly here. But OUG's Yu is going to come in and try and lock down 330 with that Yoto Himeo. He's so unbelievably low, and he does get taken down. Now the Valderol being popped, and LXM is in a 1 versus 3 situation. He's trying to lock down SS, desperately chasing him. Does manage to find the spear, but he's not going to be able to capitalize, unfortunately. Does find the parry on to SS, and he just gifts him the golden fan here. Yu goes for the untrue combo, doesn't manage to catch it, but they are going to eliminate him nonetheless, and OUG is going to come away with the win in that realm of Yang, minus a golden fan.
And I mean, giving up the fan to be able to come away with that win and not have Yang depletion, I'd say is pretty much worth it. But wow, ladies and gentlemen, what a mid game. We went from 16 minutes left and 12 players alive to 14 minutes or 13 minutes and 30 seconds left and 8 teams left alive. And we now have, I'm pretty sure, 7 teams on the board so far after Alliance went out in the 8th position. And now Baoda winning the realm of Yang as well. OUG winning the realm of Yang and Baoda coming through with the Mystic Might buffs. We do see them not picking up that Draco Storm that we saw in the first couple of games. GG are going to have a little bit of a tougher time getting back into the footing of this game, trying to get those Soul Blooms. Only 4 kills on the board for them with this Valda comp, but it has been super cool to just see how they've been aggressing onto these fights. And they were able to pick up at least 1 kill in the second realm of Yang. So props to them for doing that in that 1v3 situation. LXM holding on to that ult until the very end as well, waiting until that the Yodo was gonna ult, going ult for ult. They were doing that. The Yushan ulted. GG answered back with the Yushan ult of their own. The Faria came up. They answered back with the Faria, and then the Yodo ultimate was ending up being the differentiator in that fight. Taking out 330, just putting so much focus onto 330 after coming out of that Faria mech. It was very unfortunate for them, but it was pretty difficult for them to be able to come away with the victory after that. And it looks like they might be trying to take themselves out into the storm and then have one of these players buy a couple rebirth charms. As you can see, they are pretty stacked as far as money goes, but they could be a little bit dangerous to do this here as XCG waiting in the wings. It looks like CJS is going to be the one to go buy these rebirth charms as 330 is going to die into the zone, and so will LXM. Trying to bring it back so that these teams do not suffer from the Yang depletion. They're able to buy 1 player back already, and they're going to repeat these steps until the team is back together. But oh no! Nye HQ coming around, seeing if a little bit of a third-party action could be warranted here. They don't have much Yang depletion, but capitalizing on a fight with these players low-scaled, not having their weapons or ultimates back. And it looks like they don't see them. Oh my goodness. Wow. What's GG able to get away with so much here. And back to full scale now. GG going to hop back into the zone after reviving one of their other players with the Yang depletion. It's interesting to see how this is going to be working out.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried that GG has, because of this interference from XCG, they might not be able to do what they were planning on doing here. It's kind of cooked for them. They might need to let themselves die to the Yang depletion now, or what they could do is try and full send it and go for this team. They aren't too far behind It looks as though they're healing up here instead of going towards the zone. So I think that might be the play that they're going to go for. They've given all of their money to 330 just in case this goes poorly, or at least that's what I sort of thought.
The majority
happened.
of the money.
The
LXM
majority
still has
of
a
the
little
money.
bit in the back pocket just in case, but with only 53 seconds remaining, they are going to have to focus this kill quickly as they are running into EWG. They are an ult down. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, 330, after getting resurrected, is not going to have that Feria ult. So they are losing a crucial element of this fight. But with only 37 seconds left, I don't know how this is going to work. They could be rotating to a better spot where there's a shop and a rebirth altar pretty close. But we will have to take a look and see. We're going to be sitting tight, left with a lot of questions. We obviously can't read the minds of these players to see what they're going to be doing with only 20 seconds left and a Bane dropping on them. It looks like it is all bad luck for GG so far in this game. XCG, EWG, J-Team, and OUG closing in on all of these players. And with 7 seconds left, LXM is not going to be having the greatest time here, getting hit by over and over again with these Banes. Gets hit one last time for good measure as just a... Wow. 330 here.
On right now?
Is going to be scaling away, but gets caught out, and this is just the wrong place, the wrong time. The silence is going to be coming out, and OUG capitalizing on GG being at a weak spot, and they just did everything they did not want to do there, ladies and gentlemen, as this Bane is going to take a few hits off onto the King, taking a little bit of damage. He's going to be able to heal up pretty quickly, doing the little armor switcheroo. SS is going to try and reset that armor for the team as they're switching weapons back and forth, doing a little bit of trading between the team. As you know, when you're playing at more of a competitive level, these players are more nicer with giving away gold weapons and stuff. You know, personally, I keep all the loot to myself. I have 4 gold weapons in the back, and everyone else on my team can stay with gray armor and weapons. I don't really mind. Flipping back over to this, though, we are going to be seeing OUG facing off against J-Team. J-Team sending a couple shots in, but it looks like they don't really want to engage too closely. Bauda getting this for free here at the Spirit Well. Not very much contest coming on, as I spoke a little bit too soon, ladies and gentlemen. OUG trying to see if they can come away with a bit of this loot from the Spirit Well. They are going to back off, though, and it is going to go to Bauda.
It does look as though Bauda has this one in the bag. They are going somewhat uncontested for the moment, and there it is. It is going to pop, and they are going to be able to pick it up. But EWG is dropping from the top roads, coming in, trying to steal away anything they can just as it pops. They do manage to find themselves a pair of golden dual blades. They're going to immediately convert into golden dual halberds. But good for them, coming in, stealing something away. You know, you gotta take from the rich, give to the poor. EWG managed to take it for themselves, and are gonna be able to go into this endgame with a golden weapon. But considering that they do have that blue armor on XG and on 9, it's not looking too good for them. They do need to find themselves a purple armor sooner rather than later. Otherwise, they're gonna be painting a pretty big target on their back.
Yeah, and I mean, they're most likely gonna be able to get that scale up a little bit, but having those blue armors is gonna put them at a huge disadvantage, especially going into these fights where you're getting so much chip damage done from all of these other players when they're sending out their range shots and trying to chip your health down, build up their rage back if they use one of their ultimates early. OUG's bringing out the new swarm, the reworked swarm. It looks like it's actually gonna be sending some shots off onto EWG.
Swarm?
Yeah.
Since when?
Well, we had the swarm changes coming in a little bit, but it looks to be
it was for the event. It was for the event. They made it so that you could find them in the troves on the floor for an event, and they made it shoot water bubbles instead of normal rockets. But it's changed back now, I'm pretty sure.
I thought we were seeing the water bubble swarm coming out in NBPL. I was super excited to see something like that coming through. Would have been funny, but no, it's going to be our good old swarm that we all know and
the glorified repeating crossbow.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
As EWG trying to scale on the side, and like you were saying, those blue armors putting them at a huge disadvantage. Already losing a lot of that armor, forced to pot up way more frequently than these other players who are taking this damage. Getting caught out as well, as these teams see that they have blue armor and are going to try and engage onto them a little bit more aggressively than they would a team that has gold and purple armors around the board. Taking a look at our scoreboards, ladies and gentlemen, OUG and TE tied with 8 kills on the board, Bauda with 0, and EWG with 6. We only have 4 teams left. It is absolutely crazy. I think we have a few more J team as well on the bottom that we can't see on the bottom of the scoreboard, since OUG taking that second place, passing KLA and Fun Plus Phoenix that we had earlier in that top 2 spot. They've been able to play these games and get some more points on the board to be able to surpass those other teams as we're getting in. And circle 5 closing in onto circle 6. We've got 4 minutes left in this game for these teams to put as many kills onto the board as possible. It's EWG coming in with a huge ult. We're going to see those Wuchen Fort out really quickly. No value coming out of that ult other than to take a little bit of extra space, giving them some room to breathe, as we're seeing the other side is going to be a lot different, ladies and gentlemen. Bauda getting focused on, getting caught into that Tessa ult, and now getting caught by the Tumult as well. Still, they do have that Kurumi ult, giving them a lot of that health back, saving them from a lot of the damage that XCG was putting onto them. Pressure now coming from OUG, investing that Feria ultimate to try and put some more space and more damage onto the board, seeing if they can come up with the kill. J-Team's Lee able to just kind of hide out, get a bit of a reset off, but these players have caught him out now, and SS trying to focus onto Lee. Yu is going to be able to come away with that kill now. Bauda's Jing getting caught by that Tessa stun is not going to end up going down here, but they're in a very dangerous and precarious situation. This is what happens to Bauda a lot of the time in these fights, is they start going very low and getting sharked out by all of these other players, get caught up in the very middle of all of these fights, have nowhere to run, and end up going out pretty early. TE's Han gonna end up sending that Zai ult out pretty quickly here. Jing taking a lot of that damage. F3 coming out, knocking Jing down, dealing so much damage from all of these players, and it looks like OUG's Yu gonna be the one to pick up the kill here, as XCG gonna get aggressed on now by TE. Leo coming in with the huge Assassin's Lunge, and the combo with the Zai ultimate, taking out Kakashi. They're focusing now onto Nai HQ, as Han dealing so much damage with the Zai ultimate, able to pick up one more kill. 34% already back onto that ultimate as they're coming in to this final fight.
Absolute obliteration coming out from the side of TE, doing so much work with that Zai ultimate, putting it to use. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why we are starting to see Zai come into this meta. You know, before, when it was a lot of Yueisha, lots of Transformers, they couldn't really do anything. Like, Zai wasn't really worth playing, she'd gotten nerfed, etc. But now that we're not seeing all that many Transformers, we're not seeing all of that, we're able to actually see the value that Zai can bring to the table, and it is considerable. But as this endgame is starting to continue forth, these teams are being forced closer and closer together. Nai HQ has been rezzed up, but not for long. He is not going to survive the onslaught of TE and OUG. Han now getting pressured by this Feria ult. He's trying to disengage, now using that ultimate to go sky high with his F3, resetting that cooldown, immediately engaging onto EWG, trying to apply pressure outwards and not make himself the target, trying to alleviate the pressure put onto him. But he has been hit by this Tessa ultimate, and he is going to be locked down by said Tessa ultimate and by the Viper ultimate that immediately followed suit. Now OUG looking really strong and looking to try and take the cake for this game number 3. You with this golden dagger, LYD getting caught up in the sky, doesn't parry, gets hit by the second one into the Assassin's Lunge. The combo is devastating. EWG with 9 still alive, trying to do the best he can, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. He's not going to be coming away the winner, but he might be able to come away with a second place finish if Yeran doesn't manage to survive this onslaught of OUG. He's doing his best. He's dodging left and right, but he gets finally knocked into the zone, and now 9 has managed to secure that second place finish. Oh, no, wait, no, he hasn't. TE still has a member left alive. He's now secured 3rd at least. Oh, no, wait, yeah, no, he got 3rd, and then TE Leo got 2nd. Sorry, I didn't catch the last remaining member of TE. However, OUG is going to be coming away with the dub, ladies and gentlemen, with that MVP